But when that happens, I know as a mother, especially who has already lost a son, who's already buried two children, what that feels like, what that makes you think, what the angst that it brings in the worry. And when that happens, this is the time because it's everything is combusting. Happy Self Love Sunday, ladies. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that your journeys are going well. So, today I had a completely different message I wanted to do. And then yesterday, with the death of Chadwick Boseman, who played the superhero in Black Panther, I found out like he passed away at 43. Everything changed in this message that I was going to bring this week. And here's why. Because we have been faced with so much heaviness, so much darkness. I mean, it's just been a lot going on, and I just feel like it's time for us to check in. And for those who cannot see the video because you are listening to the podcast, I currently have one hand over my heart, the other one over my stomach. It is time for us just to place our hands over our hearts and over our stomachs and check in with ourselves. It is time to check in with how we're really doing, how we're really feeling with all of this going on. It's a lot. It's a lot. You know, when I do these podcast videos, I'm talking to all women and, and even my men, I don't exclude. But today I specifically, and I want to call out my sisters because this is heaviness right now. We're in times where every time you turn on the news, there's another killing. Every time you log on to Instagram, it's yet another beating or someone being harmed in some way, shape, or form that causes more fear, more angst in our lives, especially mothers, right? Because when we see these things and we hear these things, the first thing that we think about is our children and how can we inform them and how can we help them and what can we do to make sure they don't end up the next child being shot down or beat down at the hands of someone who considers themselves an authority figure above God. That's the only way I can describe that. Because that's how I feel within me. When you take the life of someone else, like that, is to me is you consider yourself above God. It was in your hands to do whatever you felt you wanted to do with this life. That's how it feels to me. But when that happens, I know as a mother, especially who has already lost a son, who's already buried two children, what that feels like, what that makes you think, what the angst that it brings in the worry. And when that happens, this is the time because it's everything is combusting. We just had, the 57th anniversary of the March on Washington with Martin Luther King when he gave the I Am the Dream speech, and yet people still feel like they're dealing with all the same issues, presently today. That is a lot. It is a lot. And I consider myself very strong. I consider myself a very strong woman, a very strong-willed woman. But as strong as I am and as hard as my exterior has grown to be, because that is just the way life shaped me in the inside, I feel all of it. I feel every ounce of it. To the point where, I have gotten to the point with my friends, and I think this is a very important message, where they know not to call me even in the mornings or late at night with bad news because I dream it. I can't sleep. All day long I find myself, especially yesterday when I found out Chadwick died, and I'm scrolling on Instagram, reading every story because I'm feeling this so deep in my soul. I'm not the type of person that can hear something like that and just shrug it off. right? So this is also to my sensitive sisters, because a lot of us, people don't know. It's like they see that hard exterior, they see you keep going, they see you rah rah, they see you life coaching, they see you doing, they see you healing other people. Because I really feel like, we're the healers of the world, those who feel so deep and give, so much to other people. They want to see people do well. They want to see people happy. They want to love on people. Those are the healers of the world. But they don't understand, for as hard as we look on the inside, in the outside, I'm sorry, on the inside, we're just deep feelers, and it's heavy and it's hard. So when we get to that place, when we're feeling those things, is the time for us to back away. Listen, we're not burying our heads in the sand. I never bury my head in the sand. But I also recognize when it is time for me to step back, step away, turn it off. I really don't watch the news. I'm going to be very, very candid with you. Politics, all this hatred going on, racism, it's just a lot. So I step away from it because it's not real news to me anyway. It's all opinionated, and depending on which channel you watch, you just hate one group or you hate another, right? So I've backed away from it. But social media, even still, it's time when you find yourself consistently scrolling and reading and you're feeling and it's pulling you down and down and down, or it makes you want to go in and give that speech to your kids over and over again, which I know as parents, we just want to prepare them, but we're inciting so much fear into them. We got to be careful how we even deliver that message. And what I'm going to do is, I did on Juneteenth, I did a Zoom series where we talked about how to talk to your children with dealing with the police. I'm actually going to post that. I didn't post it before because part of it was missing in the Zoom conversation, but I'm going to do that because I think it's important that we talk to our children the right way. But I also think it's equally important for us as parents to step back and give ourselves what we need mentally and emotionally. We can't even have the conversation the right way if we ourselves are not in the right space. We got to step back from all this heaviness. We have to clear. Now, I do a lot of different things when that happens. Before I even found out that Chadwick died, and the reason, let me explain to people why that's huge. He was our superhero. See, a lot of times you turn on TV and you get to see superheroes, right? And you see them as they are. And then your children look up and say, I want to be that, or I feel like I can be that person, or I can do that thing because that person looks like them. They feel that person comes from where they come from. They feel that person can identify with them. So our children hadn't had too many. And when I say our children, I'm talking about African American children alike, right? Haven't had that many superheroes. So we got to see our superhero. Right? Our children got to see that. So when they see that, they feel that they can do that. They can embody that. Okay? That's why that's important. People don't understand why it's important to see President Obama as a president because, we grew up, we heard in school, we can be anything you want to be. But we never seen anybody that looked like us that achieved that. So when you see that, you say, oh my goodness, I can be that. I can be a first lady. I can do this. I can do that. Right? It gives them that hope. It gives them that's something to aspire to. I can do that. I can break down these barriers because it's already been broken for me in this avenue. I could break down yet another barrier. I can really be anything I want because I see that. Okay? So that's why that conversation yesterday was heavy for a lot of parents when we had to explain to them that their superhero has now passed away. But then we have to also explain to them that real heroes never die. Their spirit lives on. It lives on because they lived in their purpose, and this is now their legacy, right? So this is what the conversation we have to have. And that's why for me, before I get into telling you what I do, when stuff like this happens, it pushes me further and further into my purpose. It pushes me further and further to being who I am and not trying to be who people want me to be or do. I don't chase people, purpose, or people, places, or things. I chase my purpose. It's so important because at the end of the day, when they shut the lights off and it is your time, all you have left is your legacy. And you have to start to ask yourself, what will that be? Right? So when that happens, it drives me more. But I want to back up and talk about what I do when the heaviness hits. Usually for me, It's my time to really not just back away from social media, not just turn off the TV, but also to get away. So I recently booked me a trip for a week away that only my kids will know I am, and they will be the only ones that know how to get in touch with me. And that's what I do. I really go disconnect. I go sit in front of the ocean, and I usually, because I mean, I'm very emotional, but I don't cry. When I'm home, I'm always in mommy mode, or I'm in the go getter mode, or driven, purpose driven mode. I'm always in that mode. But so sometimes I'm not feeling the emotions that I need to connect to. So that is the time I go sit in front of the ocean. I just let it all out, let it all go. Or I usually write. It's a lot of different things I do with myself during that time, but it's my time. It's about me and only me. And I'm not, being anyone's healer during that week. I'm just really focused on me. And I know that we're in the middle of also COVID, right? So that's what when I'm talking about heaviness, I'm not just talking about that. It's that too. People may have not lost their jobs and they can't book a trip. And let me tell you something, coming from, being a welfare mom, I get it. Okay, I came from not being able to afford to go anyplace, but you know what? You have to create your own world within your home, your sanctuary. And what that means is that's the time where you have to get a babysitter. Okay? And you have to create an atmosphere in your bathroom where you light some candles and you turn on some music that's soothing to you, music that brings back beautiful memories of love and happiness, and you just soak in your tub. Or you turn on your music and you start dancing. Or you get with your friends, you find your village of people who understand that this is not the time to continue to talk about this heaviness, but the time to just break away, the time to just have fun, the time to just laugh and just love on one another. Actually, today when I get finished with this, I'm going to brunch at one of my girlfriend's house who I love and adore, and we won't discuss any of this. We're just going to let our hair down and live a little bit and just have fun and break away. No, I'm not journaling this week. I don't want to journal. No, I'm not reading today. I don't want to read. I want to get out of my head. I want to get away from all this heaviness, and I just want to relax. It is a lot. We carry so many burdens on our shoulders, Black women. We do. And then we look around for, our men to help shoulder some of it. And some of us, God bless heaven, and some of us, are left behind. So we just have to continue to shoulder these burdens. But because you have to shoulder these burdens, because you have to be mother, because you have to be hairdresser, because you have to be chauffeur, and because you have to be teacher, you have to give yourself what you need. This is why self-love is so important. I'm not just preaching this stuff as some cliche. I'm preaching it because I shoulder the same burdens you do. And I shoulder them a lot of times alone. There is no one there helping me with these bricks. So that's why I have to step away. I have to love on myself. I have to give myself what I need. And it's because it gets too heavy sometimes. This is why I'm here. This is why I want to be here for you. So for the next week, because I'm not going away for another week, I am here. If you need someone, if you need a village, if you need another mother who you could just pick up and have a conversation with, I am here. mosassfitness@gmail.com, moessass@gmail.com. I'm giving you my email because I'm not giving out my phone number just, over all the multiple streams that I'm over. But once we start to email, I definitely will, and we can talk. I'm here for you because I know there are so many women who were like me, just shouldering these burdens in your room, falling and crying and, breaking apart, trying to figure out the finances, trying to figure out how to get the kids where they need to be, trying to figure out everything. And there's no one there. Everybody is in the woe is me. And then there's, you know what I mean? There's nobody there. And I want you to know there's someone here who has you, who got you, who can give you all the tips and tools. I will give you everything I have in me if it means that yet another woman does not have to experience the pain that I have to experience by myself. I don't want you to feel that. It's hard. And I want you to know you don't have to. You are not alone. There is someone who is here, and I got you. Please believe me. And I know that those who have abandonment issues like I had, you know what I mean, feel that, oh, she's just saying that. But trust me when I tell you, I am not just saying that. I'm feeling this shit hard. And I want you to know I have my village now. I built that. But I want you to know that you can have one too, and it starts with me. This is not about money. This is my purpose, and this is why I chase it, so I can be here for you. I really do hope that you step away, you step back, find your place of peace, find your place of joy, find your people. But if you can't, know that I am here. mosassfitness@gmail.com, Moe Sass Fitness LLC on Facebook and Instagram. I got you. I love you. Take care of yourself. Love on yourself. Because if you don't love you, you are not going to be the best mom, the best wife, the best friend, the best healer you can be. I love you for listening. I will talk to you next Sunday.